I'm done for the year, been applying since March 2020 with no luck. I had an interview this past Friday for a job I really want and received an email yesterday saying they will have an answer for me by end of the week. I am a nervous wreck, refreshing my emails every hour and my anxiety is at an all-time high. But if this one falls through, I don't think I can go through any more rounds of interviews this year. I will take my L and try again next year. I hope you all have better luck than me. Bless edit. Thank you for all your suggestions, kind strangers. Seeing all your replies and feeling so much better than I was a few hours ago. Really appreciate it. It's okay to take a break from the search. If you can afford it, and your mental health needs it, go for it. But don't take too long a break that you 100% give up on looking for a job. You'll find one eventually. Yes, the search really sucks, but you'll get there. Also, hiring tends to slow down around the holidays, although we're really not quite in their holidays yet. But companies really ramp up hiring in the beginning of the new year, so maybe keep going until around Thanksgiving, for if nothing else the interview practice would help. I agree that it's okay to take a break. I was so burnt out that I screwed up an interview for a job I really wanted. I wish I'd just given myself a week off from the grind and I might have come in with a better mindset and not made such a mistake. I can completely relate to this. It is so hard to lose a good opportunity that I know I could be good at because of the burnout and little mistakes. It is such a vicious cycle and it feels so isolating because people who aren't going through it don't really understand. There is so much stress, loss, and disappointment that staying hopeful and positive feels impossible. How do people take breaks from searching? What do you do in the meantime? Do you survive through your savings? Asking out of curiosity and genuinely needing a break too. About 3 weeks ago, to my demise, I decided to count how many applications I had sent. Hard pill to swallow. Over 250 since April. A few interviews that never really panned out, but with a kid doing online school, I decided to take 1 week to revamp resume and apply more strategically moving forward. Past 2 weeks, I've done more decluttering than I have ever accomplished. Tore apart pantry and cupboards and closets. Felt like I had to get my mind away from the rejection, emails and gloom and doom of the NYC job market right now. Even decluttered my contact list of a few stragglers who are getting me down too. I have to say, despite the grey skies outside lately, the feeling inside my apartment is different. Heck, I might even put up my holiday lights early. Just have to make a shift and stay hopeful. On evenings, I still flip through to see jobs posted, but my frame of mind is definitely different than it was 3 weeks ago. I've been surviving through my savings, but that doesn't really change whether I'm searching or not. When I take breaks from searching, I go on a lot of walks, catch up on video games, do housework, collecting that unemployment money. Check out my platform to make the process way more efficient by unifying applications. Exclamation mark. Occuply. If you have been applying since March and only had one interview, you need to look at changing something up. Something about what you are putting across is not working. Whether that is a resume, cover letter, not applying enough, etc. Ask yourself if you are giving up because you literally can't do it, or if you know you can put the effort in but you are taking it easy on yourself, shying away from it because it feels hard. Don't be the second person. They don't get anywhere in this life. You need to look difficult things in the face and try and overcome them. I need to upload my resume for peer review and definitely apply more. Thanks for your advice. Honestly, I feel this, but I was also getting interviews fine before COVID, haven't had one since. Was wondering if it was me because it seemed to be fine before. I even almost got a job with a really prestigious company. Always a good idea to take breaks. What might be just as useful though is continuing to search for jobs related to whatever you're applying for, but not actually applying. Keep a record of all the job titles, companies, salaries, etc. Once you're ready to come back from your break, you'll have an arsenal of information to build off of. Just a thought. Hope everything goes well for ya. What are you applying to? Has your resume been reviewed by others? How many jobs have you actually applied to? I've only started aggressively applying in the last 3 months. I've had about 5 interviews total and 1 offer that I turned down due to ridiculous expectations on their end. I'll look into uploading my resume for peer review, haven't done that yet. It is rough. I'm getting about a 5 to 6% callback rate i.e., out of the 126 applications I've submitted, 7 recruiters have reached out. The first phone screen I set up, I got ghosted. Interview didn't even happen. The second and third interviews, I was ghosted midway through the process. I got ghosted, again, for a phone screen. After this, I got rejected 2 more times and withdrew from one due to salary. It was super low given their budget. No wonder they called me back in 12 hours. Then, I just got rejected from what was essentially my dream job function. I was about where you were at yesterday. Today, I got an email from another company for what is, against, essentially my dream job function. I had quit applying midway through because they wanted so much more experience than I had. Not sure how it will go, but it's enough to keep pushing forward. It is a good time to pursue your hobbies a bit more. Think about the actual life you want and the job you need to achieve it. Once I started stressing less about jobs and doing what I loved and loved the life I was living, I finally found a job and one that I actually enjoyed. In my previous jobs this year I have been laid off or quit because the work environment didn't suit. Keep your head up. I've been through something similar. Eventually something will come your way if you just keep trying. ! Also, would you like to be job application buddies? I'm also trying to apply for new jobs. We can keep each other motivated if you'd like. Yeah, that's what I hate about job applications. It starts to feel like wasted time that you could be doing something better, and it sucks when you don't get no response. Also, there's no way to tell whether you're winning or losing because you don't even hear a response. It is like fighting a fight with an invisible enemy and you can throw a million punches, aka applications. You can get more muscular or faster, aka beef up your resume and get certs degrees. But if you can't get no feedback, win or lose, then what's the point of all the training, aka beefing up your resume, college, certs, etc. About 5 years ago I was in the same position as you were. It was actually late November, had been applying for jobs for 6 months with no luck. Figured it's too late in the year now, just have to shut it down till spring. Ended up getting an interview late December and eventually the job. Point is, don't give up, event if it's late in the year, you never know when your time will come. I've always failing at either psychometric tests or interviews. Mostly interviews despite struggling so hard to pass the psychometric tests. This pandemic won't help either. What industry do you work in that has psychometric tests as part of the hiring process? I have always wished that there were jobs that did these sorts of things. I am very small, unintimidating, and cute-looking. My entire life, people have constantly made initial assumptions that I am significantly less intelligent than I actually am, to the point that they comment on the fact that they were taken by complete surprise by the fact that my brain didn't match the stereotype of my appearance. Back in school and college, teachers and professors dramatically changed their attitude towards me after seeing my standardized test or midterm exam scores. This was particularly true with male professors, some who explicitly announced that I was the last person they ever would have guessed would be their top student. Having numbers on paper completely changed the way people viewed me and, subsequently, my quality of life. I've always wished that I had a way to show employers and potential employers and that they shouldn't mischaracterize based on superficial stereotypes. Your industry may be worth making a career change into. I applied for 2 years with no luck, and then one Tuesday I applied to a job that was expiring that same night. Got an email the Wednesday to come do an interview the Thursday. Then got hired the Friday. I hate management, but it pays the bill. Keep your head up and don't stop. Just keep trying, it is all you can do. Apply to everything that pops up. I was in pure hell for almost 2 years and kept getting shot down. In one of my darkest times, a ZipRecruiter alert popped up for a supervisor role. I applied and there. Next morning I had a call asking if I was interested in a different role as a department manager. 2 weeks and 3 interviews later I had the offer. Don't ever give up, keep fighting for yourself and family if applicable. You might not be able to see it, but there is a light in that darkness somewhere. Something that might help younger people who haven't started a family yet if they want one, where they don't feel like just themselves is worth fighting for, is to think of oneself as your family. Like, you are your family, and that is worth fighting for, and really needs supporting. I don't have children, but when times are tough or I want to quit something I'm doing, I almost think of doing things for myself as if I was doing them for my non-existent child. Parents seem to really push hard through grueling things for their kids. Where not having kids, it might be easier to just give up. So in my case, I'm mama bear for myself. In the meantime, think of something that you do well and that your neighbors need. Could be anything from lawn mowing to services for seniors. My entire career is rebooting routers and resetting passwords for old folks. I just had an interview too on Friday and it was great. However, they emphasized the fact that I was overqualified and this sucks. Hey, I really hope you get the offer. If it falls though, DM me. I went through the most frustrating job search 2 years ago. I have crafted a framework approach that worked for me and some of my friends and would be happy to share it. Have you thought about deleting mail apps from your phone? It gives you the freedom to step away from that stress during the day and only check the mail when you're home. Hey, I totally get the sentiment after applying to lots of jobs. What I found helped to take the pressure off was to only apply to those that I wanted and to keep my cover letter pretty similar. This helped by reducing the pressure on me since I spent more time looking for good jobs, rather than reworking my resume and cover letter for ones I didn't quite fit, and allowing me to pick and choose my battles for what I wanted to spend my effort on. This allowed me to stay much more level-headed and allowed me to spend more time on applications that I wanted that were better fits for me. I feel you on this. Job markets are super saturated nowadays because many more people are applying. Since the beginning of this year I've landed a couple interviews but they didn't go anywhere or the job itself got cancelled due to COVID. Also, many jobs became virtual. Now I've had 2 interviews for a company I really want to work for with a virtual position available, and they did tell me to wait about 2 weeks for an update. So I'm a nervous wreck now. They offered me 2 positions too, and if one doesn't work, there's supposedly a backup position. I also just had 2 possibilities fall through, one of which put me through 3 rounds of interviews. I was really excited about either one but now feel defeated after doing this all year. I do have a job, so I also just decided to take a break. My job has some toxic leadership, and so I was hoping to move on to possibly better, or same pay, and possibly better leadership organization. I feel your pain. Graduated in May and have been looking since February. Tons of phone screens and some in-persons. I decided to take a break because of feeling so burnt out. Well, one day I got bored and browsed Indeed and threw my resume at one job that was interesting. 1 phone screen and 2 Zooms later, and a final interview where I submitted references. HR informed me that I was the top applicant and that the CEO loves me. Supposed to hear back next week. Now this by no means indicates that I might get hired, but it's nice to have some positive results after months of dead ends and no callbacks. Keep pushing through and keep throwing your resume out there. I relate to this very much. ATM. I have had a COVID job loss, several group, individual interviews, and it is all getting exhausting. My bar to apply is low too. When I find out this week if I landed the job in my related field, I don't think I can mentally tackle any more this year. The oversaturated applicant pool is larger with COVID, and I don't think it is worth losing your peace for consistent applying. Good luck getting the role you wanted. Make sure you follow up with a thank you, I'm excited, etc. Emails. If you get stuck, here is some advice I can offer. It took me almost all of 2019 to get a job after being laid off. If you can afford it, hire a resume writer to rewrite your resume, and then edit it for each job. Research them first. Ask for consultations before saying yes. I use JobScan to make sure my resume keywords match those of the jobs I was applying for as well. The subscription was a birthday gift from a family member. My biggest suggestion is network like crazy on LinkedIn. It took me 3 months, but here's what I did. I looked for the companies I wanted to work for. I started following people from the company who had 500 plus connections. worked in a director or VP level capacity in the job I wanted, i.e. I was applying for a managerial role, so my skip level would be VP. I started there. I commented on and liked their posts, commenting only if I could add value and provide more to the conversation. I started seeing who they were networking with regularly via posts, etc. If that person was relevant to my search, I rinsed and repeated. I requested connections to those people after a month or so of engagement. Once they started replying to me, I sent them a LinkedIn message. It was short and sweet, following this type of method. 1. I have enjoyed engaging with you on LinkedIn. Compliment. I am really interested in your company, and specifically your area. I think it could drive X forward by Y, which is exciting. 3. Here are 3 key areas I've found success in that I think could benefit your org. Tie these to open job requests if they post any, i.e. I have successfully grown a team from 7 to 35 in under a year while maintaining 92% employee satisfaction. These should be metric-driven and tied to relevant functions and job requests. People love metrics because it says this is how good I am, not just I am good. I swear. 4. I've attached my one-page resume. Would you be open to a quick coffee connect? Less than essentially 15 to 30 minutes for you to ask questions and get a toe in the door. Greater than next Tuesday at 11. Or Thursday at 2 for 15 to 30 minutes. I'd love to know more about X company, your team, and see if I can be of services to your team. Be specific here in how you can X drive your engagement. Less than be specific about times. They're more likely to check calendars and respond, even if just sorry, can't do those. How's Thursday at 4 for 30 minutes instead? Greater than be short, sweet, direct. Make it sound like you in job hunting. And out of 300 plus applications and 2 to 3 phone interviews. This was the one method that got me every single one of those interviews. Then I had a company turn me down for the one role I networked to interview for, no application, while turning around and saying, but we'd like to offer you a different role. Could you meet with that team to see if you're interested? I got that job. Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.